Selma, Alabama, and grew up in hybrid to a country store owner. There he learned the values that we see in him exhibited every day. The values of honesty, hard work, belief in God, and parental respect. He earned his Eagle Scout and received the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award. He graduated from Huntington College in Montgomery and received his law degree from the University of Alabama. Attorney General Sessions served in the United States Army Reserve from 1973 to 1986, attaining the rank of captain. He considers this time one of his most rewarding experiences. His legal and professional career has encompassed the private practice of law, serving as Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Alabama. He was nominated by President Ronald Reagan in 1981 and confirmed by the United States Senate to serve as the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Alabama, a position he held for 12 years. He was then elected in 1995 as Alabama Attorney General and later elected to the United States Senate, where he served until February 9, 2017 with great distinction. And on February 9, 2017, he was sworn in by Vice President Mike Pence as Attorney General for the United States following his nomination by President Donald J. Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, those of us in the offices of the United States Attorney, those of us in federal law enforcement agencies, those of us in state and local law enforcement, all of us here today at the Gatlinburg Conference could have no better friend, no better advocate, no one more dedicated to the cause of justice, and no one more dedicated to the rule of law than Jeff Sessions. It gives me great honor to ask you to please join me in welcoming to the podium for the Gatlinburg Law Enforcement Conference the Honorable Jeff Sessions, the 84th Attorney General of the United States of America. General Sessions. Happened on Broadway once or twice. I never thought it would happen to me personally. But I thought we timed it to a T. Should we sit down and rise up again? Why don't we do that? Let's sit down. I'm sorry he missed it because I really worked on it. Well, I've been told, when you introduce the President of the United States, you don't give his resume. You just say, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States. So, I'll try that in just a minute. You know what I meant. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the 84th Attorney General of the United States, the Honorable Jeff Sessions.
Wow, what a good group this is. And Doug, thank you for your remarks, and thank you for your long history of service to Tennessee and our country. And we're glad to have you in the Department of Justice. We've got a good team here indeed. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for a moving tribute to the officers who've given their lives in the service of their country. I did attend the Blue Mass last week in Washington, honoring those who've given their lives, and had an opportunity to talk just a couple of days ago to young Keith Chubb, who was shot, ATF agent, in the face doing his duty. So we know the work you do is important. Thank you for this gathering, too, of 11 different federal districts to discuss law enforcement important issues. This enforcement training conference is critical to strengthening and improving our partnerships with local law enforcement throughout Tennessee, and you've been doing it here for 25 years. We formed one in Alabama in the 1980s, and it's still meeting. Of course, they do it at Gulf Shores. That always attracts a pretty good crowd. Our 3 United States Attorney's districts in Alabama. I'm pleased that Alabama is well represented. I think Jay Town, our super United States Attorney in Birmingham, Northern District, Huntsville, Alabama native. Jay, are you here somewhere? There he is, right on the front. He is really taking charge, as so many of you know. I want to thank our other United States Attorneys, Donald Cochran, Michael Donovan, B.J. Pack, Rob Duncan, Russell Coleman, Andrew Murray, Beth Drake, Bill Powell, Mike Stewart for being here. It's a pretty good gathering of our top people indeed. And I'd like to thank the law enforcement coordinators who constantly work to improve our relationships with the 85% of law officers in America who are state and local. We know that. We know we cannot succeed without you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Chief Randall Brackens and District Attorney General Dunn, for hosting us here in Gatlinburg. If you haven't already, I hope you get the chance to meet Steve Cook. He's the Director of the Office of Law Enforcement Liaison in the Department of Justice, an important part of my team. By the way, that position was empty under the previous administration. That might tell you something. Steve served in Tennessee many years as a police officer and Assistant United States Attorney, and now he's doing important work. I want to thank also and recognize Larry Lorenzi, the first Assistant United States Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee. Larry, are you here? Yeah, there he is. Good deal. 36 years as a federal prosecutor under 6 presidents, filling numerous roles. He's retiring, and we at DOJ, Larry, are better off for your work. So in this very room are some of the best people in America. I have no doubt of that. You and those you lead invest their lives in your communities to protect the innocent and the vulnerable. You place your lives at risk for the safety of others and for law, which is important, and for our country. It is a true honor for me, truly, on behalf of President Trump, to be with this august gathering, and I'll do my best to help you do your work and to be more effective in your work, to help you reach your goals, our goals for a better country. Steve Cook, I think, epitomizes the values we share. He's a blessing to me personally and to you and to the law enforcement community as a whole. He knows there is life outside Washington. You haven't forgotten that yet, have you, Steve? You've been there a few months. He knows that the work that you do from the ground up, from the police department to the United States Attorney's Office, to Main Justice. Steve's approach to law enforcement is exactly what I believe in, exactly what this country needs now. Thank you, Steve, for the sacrifices you're making to make America better. Norman Mailer wrote about the moon landers And he said, there's a razor's edge between a hero's endeavor and vainglory. Well, I think high goals are okay, and we should achieve them, but with our feet on the ground. Bold, but with good judgment. And my best judgment is that we are working together, and we have a historic opportunity to make this country better, to be more effective in fighting crime, to make us safer and more prosperous as a nation. You, right here, will be key players in that effort. We don't come to this conference with a blank slate. None of you do. We are experienced, we are professional, we are trained to do the job that we're called on to do. The problem is we got away from the proven policies that reduced crime all over this country over 30 years. Community-based policing, incarceration of serious repeat offenders, new technologies, more officers, more prosecutors. And it worked. It made our country safer. The war on crime and drugs did not fail. It was a rousing success. And the plain truth is, that success came as a direct result of rejecting the criticisms and policies of the progressive left. The country gave its attention to the American people and the crime victims for a change in the 1980s. High school drug use at that time was high, so was homicide rates. Both fell by half after a dozen or so years of good policing in this country. By half. The fuzzy-headed left rejected those sound professional policies, but they were adopted over their objections. Many of you were there. John Gill was there. And John here, somebody told me John might be here. Russ Dedrick was there during those days. Steve Cook's too young to remember all of that. Of course, we don't need anyone in jail. It doesn't need to be there. But revolving prison doors that allow dangerous criminals free repeatedly to prey on the innocent will not produce public safety. Indeed, homicide started back up in recent years as we've forgotten what we learned, in my opinion. We had a 12% increase in homicide in America in 2015, and an additional 8% in 2016. That's after 30 years, basically, of decline. A very dangerous, unacceptable trend. Drug use, addiction, overdose death, as you know, have surged. So we've got to work resolutely to stop these trends and to reverse them. That must be our goal. We know how. We've proven what works. Science proves what works. We share good practices at conferences like these. We train our officers better every day. We know what is at stake and how to go about fixing it. So my goal is to support you, to empower you, to unleash you and your law enforcement departments, to apply the good and lawful policies that are proven to make our communities safer. Why wouldn't we want to do that? This point was given powerful support recently. Just a few weeks ago, Paul Casales and Richard Files at the University of Utah. Paul was a federal judge for a number of years. They did an analysis of the dramatic surge in Chicago homicide rates in 2016. This is remarkable to me. Homicides went from 480 in Chicago in 2015 to 754 in 2016. 1 year. A stunning event. So they studied it. They thought it was an important event, and it was indeed. They considered numerous possible causes for this surge. They concluded that the 58% increase in homicides was the abrupt decline in stop and frisk policies that the police department had been using in 2015. They had had a horrific shooting, police shooting in Chicago. There were protests, and the ACLU filed a big lawsuit that resulted in a consent settlement. That consent settlement resulted in a decline in police stops and also a decline in arrests from 40,000 stops per month to 10,000 stops per month. Arrests fell. In sum, these professionals conclude that these actions in late 2015, conservatively calculating, resulted in approximately 236 additional victims killed and 1,115 additional shootings in 2016 alone. These scholars called it the ACLU effect. Look, this does not surprise you. It does not surprise me or other experienced professionals. If you want crime to go up, let the ACLU run the police department. That's what we learned. If you want public safety, let the professionals run the police department. That's what President Trump believes. That's what I believe. That's what this Department of Justice believes. Let's put our focus on what we know works. So, we have some explicit goals for 2018. We want to bring down violent crime. In fact, President Trump, who knows how to send pretty clear orders, my first day in office sent an order. Your goal, your responsibility is to reduce crime in America. So we embrace that. That's exactly what our goal is. Homicides, we want to reduce homicides, not preside over increasing homicide rates. We want opioid prescriptions. There's too many of them being prescribed. We want them down, and we're going to see they go down. President Trump wants a 30% reduction. I think we can do that. And overdose deaths and illegal immigration are top priorities for ours. So we've taken a number of steps. We're working to create a lawful system of immigration. It's on the forefront right now of our agenda. That means defending the rule of law, not just at the border, but everywhere. That is one of the problems with sanctuary cities. It cannot be that someone who illegally crosses the border on Monday in Texas and gets to San Francisco on Wednesday carrying dope is home free, never to be removed from this country. How can that possibly be? If you won't support somebody who came here illegally and then committed another crime, then who will you deport? Nobody's the real answer. The sanctuary city's ideology is just another form of the extreme open borders ideology. 11 million people are already here illegally. That's more than the population of Georgia. Right now, we're dealing with a massive influx of new influx, really, across the border. This February, we saw a 55% increase in apprehensions. In April, we saw triple the number of April last year. Of course, last year we had a dramatic drop because President Trump's very presence, really. So yesterday I announced that the Department of Homeland Security is partnering with us and will begin a new initiative that will result in 100% referral of southwest border apprehensions for prosecution by the Department of Justice. And we will take as many of those cases as possible until we get to 100%. If you cross the southwest border, you violated the law, then we will prosecute you. It's just that simple. If you smuggle illegal aliens across the border, we will prosecute you. If you're smuggling a child, then we will prosecute you, and that child may be separated from you as required by law. If you don't like that, don't bring your children into this country across that dangerous trek unlawfully. It's not anything we can do about it. It is a choice that the entrant made. If you make false statements to an immigration officer or commit fraud to get a benefit, that's a felony. If you help others do so, that's a felony too. That's why we're hiring 35 new assistants specifically to focus on the southwest border offices. We've directed the Executive Office for Immigration Review to deploy 18 additional supervisory judges to the southwest border, and I'm calling on our federal prosecutors throughout the country to do their part too. Those prosecutors, and you may not be on the border front lines, but we have prosecutorial responsibilities to enforce immigration laws too. It's not one case that we're talking about. We're talking about restoring integrity to a whole body of law, to establish a policy of lawful immigration. The Eastern District of Tennessee, from 2016 to 2017, their prosecutions for re-entry, people who've already been deported once who re-entered, have tripled. Northern District of Alabama re-entry prosecutions are up 183%, and South Carolina up 79%. Overall, the 11 districts represented here showed a 56% increase in those prosecutions in 1 year. But we've got a lot more work to do. The unemployment rate under the president fell below 4%. We have some signs that wages are beginning to rise again, and already some in the business community are beginning to whine. But as a politician, a government leader, I think it's a good thing wages go up for a change. They read the Wall Street Journal and say, wages are rising. Oh, that's terrible. How can that be? Isn't that great? We've been to have wages rise. A little more than a month ago, ICE arrested 97 immigrants who were allegedly here illegally at a meat processing plant in eastern Tennessee. You don't get to gain a competitive advantage in this country by having large numbers of illegal workers working for you. So I'm not shedding tears about that. You don't get the benefit from being in this country and look around the world and find the cheapest worker you can find. That's just not good policy for this country. American people understand it. So we've tolerated and winked at illegality in our immigration system for too long. It's time we put ourselves on the path to end this once and for all, create a system that's lawful that we can be proud of. And that will be one of the steps toward reducing crime and build on the centerpiece of our crime reduction strategy, which is Project Safe Neighborhoods, and I think most of you may be familiar with that. You also know that 90% plus, I think, now, of cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, and fentanyl are coming across the Mexican border. We can do a much better job there. We've got to do a better job there and end the lawlessness at the border. On Project Safe Neighborhoods, I want our United States attorneys, and we've talked to this with them numerous times, to target and prioritize prosecutions of the most dangerous criminals in the most high-risk areas. And I urge them to engage with a wide variety of stakeholders, our state and local law enforcement partners, as well as others like community groups and victims advocates, to identify the needs of your communities. This approach has proven to work. It's from the ground up, not Washington down. One study showed that in the first 7 years of it, it was done during most of the Bush administration, PSN reduced violent crime by 4.1% overall, with certain studies showing reductions in certain areas of as much as 41%. PSN is flexible. It allows you to adopt strategies for your district, so we can apply federal resources in partnership with state and local. I think our results are beginning to show progress already. We'd like to see a lot more. Our goal is to go further. In 2017, the Department of Justice brought cases against the greatest number of violent criminals in a quarter century. We charged the most firearms prosecutions in a decade. Those are good cases, and we're returning to that area. We convicted more than 1,200 gang members We've already charged hundreds of people for contributing to the opioid crisis, including 150 doctors since 2017. And 16 of those doctors you've got a big case here too. One of the most dramatic cases where so many deaths have resulted. But 16 of those doctors prescribed more, just that 16, more than 20 million pills illegally. People are making huge amounts of money off this destructive practice. For our OCDF task forces have indicted more than 6,500 defendants in opioid-related investigations, forfeited more than $150 million last year. By the way, we're back in the forfeiture business. They're not entitled to keep the profits, their ill-gotten gains, from their criminal enterprises. I used to tell them in the Senate, we'd argue over this, I'd say, well, the average 22-year-old police officer can arrest the mayor on probable cause. You mean you can't seize dope money on probable cause? Give me a break. You get a trial. So we want to do this right. We all need to be careful. We got a lot of critics out there. We don't want any mistakes. I know you share that view. So I've asked AUSA Corey Ellis, probably some of you may know him from North Carolina, great AUSA, to make sure that to monitor our program, to make sure it's going forward, we're being effective, and we're not violating any rights in the process. Of course, it's been upheld by the Supreme Court for many, many years. From 2016 to 2017, fentanyl prosecutions, that killer drug, have tripled by the federal government, and we want you to also focus on those cases because we do not want fentanyl to take a foothold around here. And in the last month and a half, DEA seized nearly 200 pounds of fentanyl in cases from Detroit to New York to Boston. 200 pounds. Of course, it's 50 times as powerful as heroin. It's got to be a priority for all of us. All of this hard work is paying off. There are some good signs in the preliminary data that the increases in murder have been reduced, and the violent crime rate, which has gone up for 2 consecutive years, may actually have reduced a little. Publicly available data for the rest of the year suggests we're continuing to make progress. That just shows that once again, that law enforcement properly executed makes a difference. Each one of you, the work you do, properly done, makes the community safer. And I'll close by reiterating my deep appreciation and profound thanks to all the men and women of law enforcement, federal, state, local, tribal. And I want to thank every law enforcement officer in America. The work you do, that you have dedicated your lives to, is essential. I believe it. The Department of Justice believes it. President Trump believes it. And you can be certain about this. We have your back. You have our thanks. Thank you all. It's been an honor to be with you. And God bless us all.
Good morning. I'm Brian Grisham, I'm the Director of the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy and the Executive Secretary of the Tennessee Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, and it is a pleasure for us to play a small part in the sponsorship of this great conference. It's my pleasure today to introduce a consummate law enforcement professional on both the Tennessee and the national scale. Phil Keith